to be my November favorites. I cannot believe it is already December. December is here, you guys. Even though this has kind of been a really shitty year for most of us, um, especially if anybody has lost anyone close to them, I cannot express my sympathies enough for people that have lost people this year. So I am so sorry. And I really am getting sick of like people thinking that don't have to think anything of what is going on. I feel like it's just such a selfish way to look at things. So I really do express my deepest sympathies, and I am very sorry for your loss. So let's just get into the favorites, because I don't want this to be a, sad video. I want it to get it off your minds. But I just wanted to touch on that first, because I feel like this is my last favorites video of the year, because then after this, I usually do my best in beauty in January. So I just wanted to say that, and I hope everyone has a good holiday season. Just, if you are able to live with people that you love, just make sure you spend the time with them that you can, because we all have limited time. So just make sure that you really just spend time with them, hug them, call them, just talk to them, because we never know. So yeah, I'm going to get into the favorites now. I'm sorry about that little tangent, but I just wanted to say something before I get into it, because, it's still not going away yet, and we just can't get complacent about these things. So, we just gotta keep on, just keep going, but also be safe. So, okay, so we're gonna get into eyeshadow palettes first. I'm just going to talk about the two most recent eyeshadow palettes to my collection. I haven't gotten any eyeshadow palettes since like the first week of November, but then today I just received a palette from a friend, and then I also purchased another palette that I was thinking about getting that will be coming like probably next week or the week after. I'm not really sure. But I'm just going to talk about the two palettes that I've been wearing a ton, and I did get a lot of use out of them this past month. So the first palette that I got, well, this is actually the second palette I got in the month, is the Colourpop Star Wars Mandalorian, the Child palette. It is just called the Child palette, but if you guys didn't know, unless you've been living under a rock, this is Baby Yoda. He actually just got a name in the show, but I will not spoil it for anyone, because for whoever sees the show or hasn't seen the show or hasn't seen that episode yet, I will not spoil it for you guys, but it was very interesting to finally get a name. He's not just Baby Yoda, he has an actual name. So yeah, I just think the packaging is so adorable. I was really, really trying to not get this palette, but I just could not resist how cute this packaging was. And I actually thought that the color story was something I could get quite a bit of use out of. And honestly, I've been using this palette a lot. I did wear it on my eyes today. So I took just like a Tatooine first, then I darkened up the crease more with Little Frog, and then I used Float Your Crib on the outer corners, and then I put Right Hand Mando all over the lid. It's such a gorgeous metallic shade, like insanely pigmented. And then I just popped on Hear Me Out as usual from my single shadows, and then I just used Precious Cargo on the inner corners, and that's my look for today. I just feel like this palette kind of makes it a wearable way to wear greens. Like, I feel like that these shades are very muted green tones, but they also like have a little bit of interest to them. They're kind of like that swampy kind of colors, but they're not like too muted. They still have a warmth to them, and I feel like that's kind of a difficult color story to come across, and I think they did a great job with the color story, and a lot of people seem to love this palette. The one thing I can say, though, about this is that these shades are very pigmented, and they have a lot of kick up in the pan. I don't mind that at all. It's never bothered me, really, unless it, like, makes the palette, like, a complete mess, but I just blow it off. So, all right. So, the shade that is just, blinding is the shade Right Hand Mando, and Sipping Soup is also a gorgeous metallic. So, I'll just swatch some of them for you guys. Right Hand Mando is a little bit crumbly, but it's just so gorgeous. So that one's Right Hand Mando, and that one is Sipping Soup. And then I will swatch, I think I'll swatch a couple of the greens for you guys, just so you can get a feel if you were interested in this palette. Because, how many times can we swatch a mid-tone brown and a deep tone brown? But that's why I'm glad they had those staple shades in here, because you can use them for a lot. So that one is Baby Face, and this one is Little Frog. So there's some swatches for you guys. Seriously, I really didn't think I was going to use this palette all that often, but I actually have been using it quite a lot. And I've gotten use out of the palette quite a bit, and I really like it. And I really like this look that I came up with today. I think it goes great with my outfit. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this palette. I think that their 9-pan palettes for this past year, since the Frozen 2 palettes in November, have been amazing quality. I think that their formula is better. I know a lot of people are complaining that it's not like the old formula, but I think that their metallics are even more intense than before, and I really like it. I'm feeling it. So I really enjoyed this palette. So I was using this palette a ton this month. And then the other newest palette to my collection, which you guys know, like I said, I was going to use this palette a ton for Thanksgiving. I used it quite a bit this month, and I just feel like this palette is so fall and so Thanksgiving to me, is the Pinky Rose Center Stage palette. Now, if you guys can pick up at least one of these palettes, I would highly recommend them, but only the ones that are in these pans, not like, I haven't like, I mean, this is my first Pinky Rose palette to my collection, and I'm so happy I finally picked this guy up. I did pick it up a little bit early, because I wasn't going to pick it up until like the middle of November, but I ended up getting it like at the end of October, and I think I received it like the first week of November. I don't remember. I feel like I was trying this out before, or I had used all the shades before I got this palette, so I still got quite a bit of use out of this palette this past month. And again, the color story is just so fall, and the mattes are beautiful, and the shimmers are really pretty, and the pressed glitters are good. I mean, not a lot of people are fans of pressed glitters. I kind of wish that this palette didn't have pressed glitters in here, or was this just this one, and this could have been like a different color. I'm not really sure what I would make it, because I feel like all these colors do really make sense together. I think it's a really good color story. I just feel like I would have changed this one maybe, but most of the shades I really love. So the metallics are really beautiful, very pigmented. So that's the yellow, and that's the red, which is Star and Havana. So it looks like that. I used this palette in a first impressions. I used it in my Sephora try new makeup video, and I used it in my Thanksgiving makeup challenge video with Riri. So I have done quite a few looks with it. I'm making it my goal to do another look with my Summer Days palette, which I'm going to film on Saturday, because I can't even film again until then. I haven't filmed in like a week and a half, you guys, like not since before Thanksgiving. Like, it's so weird to me when I don't film for that long, but I just didn't have any time. And then this one is one of the metallics, which is called Floodlight. I mean, it's so pretty. It's so buttery smooth and really pigmented. And then I'll try and swatch one more for you guys. Let's do the shimmery purple. That one's a really pretty one too. Their shimmers are really pretty too. So that one is Public. Oof. So buttery. And it looks like that. So I really have been enjoying this palette, you guys. I really like it. I think I might possibly use this for work tomorrow. I'm kind of thinking about using some of the purpley shades. I'm not sure yet. Or I'll just use something else. I really have actually been digging into some of my older palettes lately. So I've been kind of rotating a bunch of my palettes recently, and it's been really fun. So yeah, those are the two eyeshadow palettes I've been loving. I definitely highly recommend this brand as well. They're really good. Excuse me. Okay, now let's get into a couple of face products. So the first one is a primer, and this is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, not Hydro Grip Primer. So I picked up the mini version of this during the sale. As you guys can see, I've already used almost half of this up. I feel like that this primer is going to be pretty easy for me to use up, because, you know, it is the mini version of it. I don't know why I would pump it out, but it is a really good primer, you guys. I really have been enjoying it. For some reason, I'm really intrigued on trying a lot of Milk products. They really have been the only products that I've been interested in trying from Sephora, because I didn't really pick up too much from the VIB sale this time. And I do have a couple of skincare favorites as well. But I just didn't really pick up that many products this time because, you know, I just didn't want to get too much makeup. I was kind of overwhelmed with the Pinky Rose palette and the Star Wars palette, so I was like, let me just grab just a couple of things, and this has been on my wish list since I tried it back in August. I really do like it a lot. It really has a tacky base to it, so then it really helps the foundation adhere to your skin and really makes it nice and tacky and makes it apply beautifully. So I really have been enjoying this a lot. Okay, and then my next favorite is the foundation that I picked up from the Sephora VIB sale, and that is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. Now, before I get into this foundation, you do not have to drop $70 on this foundation, you guys. I don't think it's worth that much money. I would pay probably like $40, $50 for a foundation. The only products that I do spend more than $60 on is a foundation, because I feel like a foundation's worth it for me because I will use it up. I will not spend like, or an eyeshadow palette, but I won't spend that on a highlighter, on a lipstick, on a bronzer, stuff like that. No, like that is just too expensive for me. But like, even eyeshadow palettes, like the most expensive eyeshadow palette that I bought with my own money was the Viseart Warm Nudes palette, or Warm Neutral palette or something. And the other one was the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, but that was $65. So this one, I only bought it because it was 20% off during the Sephora sale. So it ended up being like $52, which was a little bit more doable for me. I was not going to pay the full $68 for this because then it would have been over $70 with tax. So that's why I was like, I'm going to pick it up during the Sephora sale. So I really like it. It's like my perfect kind of foundation. If I didn't want to try this one, I probably would have repurchased my Kogendo foundation because that is still my favorite foundation besides the Anastasia. I love it. It just feels amazing on the skin, so nourishing, everything. But let's talk about this one. So this one is kind of similar to that. I find that it's a slightly drier formula, but it is a very liquidy, hydrating foundation, and it is very buildable, which I really like about it. You guys know those are like my favorite kind of foundations to wear. I don't love anything too full coverage. But I think a lot of people like this foundation is because it feels lightweight on the skin. It's kind of that in between, like, you know, it's medium buildable coverage. And I think that's why people like it, because they can kind of customize it to the kind of coverage that they like. So that's why I really have been enjoying this foundation. And this one's in the shade Light 1. So it's really good. And I love pairing it with the concealer. And I, you know, I've talked about the concealer before. It's a great concealer. I really do like it. I'm really glad I tried it. And it looks amazing with the foundation. Like, they pair beautifully together. And I'm surprised because I'm not usually that type of person that loves the foundation and concealer together from the same brand or the same line. But I really love the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation and Concealer together. And I love this and the concealer together. So yeah, this was really good. I'm really glad I picked it up. And Debbie was the reason why I got this. She enabled me to get this. But like, at first when this came out this past, I think it was last year already, I had no interest in it. I thought it was too expensive. And that was when like so many brands were launching foundations like left and right, like Anastasia, Urban Decay, Pat McGrath, Fenty. Like, they were all releasing new foundations. And I was like, I had picked up those, the Anastasia and the Fenty, but I never picked up this one because I was like, I'm not spending the money. And now I'm really glad I did. I'm glad that I waited until the VIB sale because this was really the only foundation I was really interested in still. So yeah, and then an eyeliner favorite. I actually have been using this eyeliner a ton this month. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Eye Pencil in the shade Emerald City. Now, I mostly used these, like, you know what? I forgot one more eyeliner. Okay, sorry. So I have two eyeliner favorites. So the first one is Emerald City by NYX. And the reason why I've been liking this one a lot is because I've been using this to pair with the Child palette on my eyes a lot when I wear it because it is a green liner. And I kind of wanted to actually utilize my colorful liners for more than just collabs this past month because I haven't really done like extravagant colorful looks for collabs since Halloween ended. So I didn't really do any of those type of looks this past month, and I kind of didn't really have any time. So I was working a lot this past month. But this color pairs beautifully with the shades in this palette, so I've been using it a ton, especially when I'm working, because I'm not going to wear a green eyeliner like a day like today. I mean, I could, because I do feel like green's a very wearable color, but I've been wearing green a lot this month, and I just feel like this liner pairs perfectly with this palette. And then the other one is the Colourpop BFF Cream Gel Liner in the shade Sistas. I probably mentioned this in my last favorites, but I wanted to mention it again because I definitely did use it quite a bit this past month as well. I didn't use the palette half as much. I think I only used it like once because I mostly wanted to use it in October for Halloween, and then I used a bunch of my other palettes and my 2 newer palettes to my collection. But this is a really nice liner as well. I love that it's like a red metallic, and it's just, I really do like the new formula of the cream gel liners, because I actually didn't really love the older formula of the cream gel liners. I know even Debbie likes the cream gel liners more than I did. I just have never really been a huge fan of them. I much prefer the Maybelline Skinny liners. I think those are amazing on the waterline. I wish they had more shades in them because I would buy every single one. But since then, they've improved it, and I feel like this is a way better metallic formula than their older metallic liners, because I feel like the older liners that I used, they were always like too faint on my waterline, and they always irritated my waterline. So I think I'm probably going to get rid of my older liners in my collection. I'm pretty sure I've decluttered mostly all of my older ones from them, but I kind of want to like get like some of the newer ones at some point. I really want the Raw Beauty Christie eyeliner set. I'm not getting anything else from that collection except for that, because those colors are really pretty, and I feel like I'll get a lot of use out of those colors like this coming month. But I am really intrigued on trying more of their liners. So, I mean, I've gotten pretty much everything that I've wanted from them, but they're always releasing stuff that I want to try. And then, speaking of Colourpop, let's talk about a couple of highlighters. So the first one is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Illuminator, and this one is in the shade Soft Ivory. This is really pretty on the skin. The only thing that I have a problem with this, I mean, I haven't tried a liquid highlighter in a really long time. I don't even remember the last time I tried a liquid highlighter. I forgot that I was going to mix it today with my foundation, but I forgot. I have been just using it as a highlight, and I've used it like 3 times already. And, you know, I just apply it in the normal places that I highlight. And I just feel like this highlighter is, it's very intense. Like, you barely need any product. Like, even this will cover your entire face. Like, it is really beautiful, but like one pump will literally cover your whole face. Like, that is gorgeous. I'm thinking about possibly just applying some for you guys to see what it looks like, because I have been wearing it quite a bit, and I might just apply it on top of the highlight that I'm wearing, because I feel like the highlight that I'm wearing today is a bit too pinky. I mean, that made it even more intense. I'm wearing like 3 different highlights now, but I just wanted to apply it with a stippling brush kind of over that, and I think that looks really pretty together. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Okay. It kind of makes the glitter from the highlight that I'm wearing a little bit more subdued. That's really pretty. Yeah, I like that combo. I'm wearing 2 Lele Posh highlighters, and now I put that one on top. So we have enough highlight on today. But the only thing is that so usually for me, I like applying liquid products with like a sponge. But I feel like with a sponge, with this illuminator, it kind of lifts my foundation a little bit, which I don't love. And again, since it's so pigmented, I feel like that I just apply too much product every single time, so I really have to be more careful with it. So when I use it with a sponge, it's kind of like too much. But if I use it with this, if I use it with the stippling brush that I just used, it's a lot easier to blend out. So this has become like one of my favorite brushes this past year, because I don't really use it for foundation. Like, I used to use this with like my MAC BB cream when that was like the only face product I ever used. But that was when I was, you know, really young, like 18 through 20. That was the only product that I used, because like I didn't need foundation yet. So I really have been using this for like cream blushes, and I've been using this for like the fake blood for the liquid lipsticks. With this, it's just such an easy effect. You just stamp it on. It was so easy to do. And I've been using it for this highlighter, and it's really, really easy to apply it this way, and it makes it really nice and intense. So I have been enjoying it. There is a little bit of a trick to cream highlighters, but I mean liquid highlighters, but eventually you'll get it. Okay, and then speaking of highlighters, I just wanted to say the two highlighters that I really have been enjoying, like kind of popping on top. Oh my god, I just blew like a bunch of highlight out of here because there's so much highlight in this Z palette, like for like the kick up. But when I apply the liquid highlighter, I do like applying like, you know, powder highlight on top just to add a bit of extra shine and also to set it a little bit. And the two highlighters I really have been liking to top it off with, besides this other one I'm going to mention, is the single highlighter in Dreamscape from Colourpop and the Cindy Grace. Can I not dig my finger into there? The Cindy Grace highlight in the shade Golden Wonder. I mean, this is gorgeous. These are both like stunning highlights. Like the Cindy Grace is amazing. They're just such beautiful formulas, and you guys know these are kind of like my tones because, like, you know, I'm so fair, but they are beautiful, super pigmented. And I love applying both of these on top of the Colourpop highlighter. So this one is Dreamscape. I mean, I've mentioned this a bunch of times in favorites videos. And then this one is Golden Wonder. I mean, they're so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Oh my god. Okay, so I have a couple of highlighter favorites. And then we'll pretty much be done, and all we have left is skincare. So yeah, I've been loving those two with that. And then the other one is my newest highlight to my collection. And you guys know I already love the shade that I have in this, that I had to pick up another one from the VIB sale. And this has been on my wish list for like a year. And I finally just decided to pick it up during the sale because there was really no other highlighter I was really interested in getting. So I got the Milk Makeup Flex highlighter in the shade Lit. Oh my god, this is so freaking gorgeous. It's like the perfect icy, like taupey light shade for fair skin. It is so beautiful. Milk highlighters are just gorgeous, and their formula is so intense. And it just almost feels like wet, and it looks like more metallic. But all three of these highlighters are gorgeous. The Cindy Grace is a little bit more, actually I think that's Dreamscape. But look at that. It's just beautiful, and I love using this as well on top of the liquid highlighter from Colourpop. So yeah, those are the highlights I've been liking to pair with the liquid highlight. And also I've been using these highlighters quite a bit this past month, so they were favorites of mine. And then like the last couple of actually we have a few highlighters to talk about. You guys know how much I love highlighter. So I just wanted to shout out the Classy Cake highlights again. I did use these quite a bit this past month. I didn't really use Debutante and Tattoo Mama as much this month as I did this past like day or two, but I just wanted to say they are really pretty, so I'll just not really talk about them too much, because the ones that I've been using more are Anya and Anastasia. They're just so pretty. They're like, they do have a drier formula because these are handmade, hand-pressed highlights. I really like spraying them, and I feel like that you get a really nice intensity with them, but they are really intense. So that one is Anya, and that one is Anastasia. I really like applying them first and then going over it with like spraying my brush and making it more intense. And then I actually really have been enjoying my Lele Posh highlights this month. I've been wearing them quite a bit. So I just wanted to mention these real quick. Not so much, again, I've kind of been wearing them more this past week, but it was still November this past week. So I just wanted to mention a couple of them. I also just love this little palette that I keep them in. I mean, come on. And I did use my Majesty highlight like a week ago, and it was so gorgeous. But I've been trying to make it my business to use my Lele Posh highlights more, and they're really beautiful. So, of course, I have Save Me Kenzie I'm wearing today. I kind of wanted a little bit of a pinky highlight with my look today. Don't ask me why. And I'm wearing a little bit of White Wedding with it as well, which is also a beautiful shade to top this off with. So I'm kind of gonna just dig my brush in there, and then I'm going to spray it. So I'm going to make it more intense because that's what I wanted to do before anyway. I don't think we have enough highlight on today. Like, do you see that? Like how pretty that is? But I love using the Pretty Fresh spray to like intensify any highlight. Because it like works with like almost every formula that I use, but oh my god, that is so intense. So yeah, I really have been enjoying these as well. I'll swatch Kenzie and White Wedding for you guys, just so you can get a feel of how beautiful these are. You can also use Kenzie as an eyeshadow. Oh, it's so pretty. So that one is Kenzie, and that one is White Wedding. It's funny because like Kenzie kind of reflects like a yellow pink in person, but when I show it on camera, it's like a white pink shifty duochrome. Like it never looks the same. And then White Wedding is just a beautiful pale highlight for fair skin. And then the last two products I wanted to mention is, I'm pretty sure I mentioned them in my October favorites, but I've also been using them quite a bit this past month as well. And that is the Haus Labs Duos by Gaga. So the first one is the blush and highlight duo. Again, these are beautiful. I've been using the blush quite a bit again, and the highlight's really pretty. I prefer the blush over the highlight in this. I mean, the highlight's still beautiful. It's just a little bit darker, but it's gorgeous. And this blush is amazing, like so beautiful. This is the only blush that I'm talking about in this video because I haven't purchased any new blushes since I got these. I was kind of on a no-buy for blushes this month because I have way too many. So this one is the shade Flirt from that little palette. And then the other one is the bronzer and highlight duo. I absolutely am obsessed with these. Like the highlight is so beautiful, and the bronzer I love. I've been using the bronzer a ton since I've gotten it, and it's amazing. Like I love this bronzer, and I think you guys know that. I use it for when I go to work, or I use it for like really subtle looks. I mean, they're just beautiful. You can't really see them that well, but this highlight is so much more intense on the face and how it looks swatched right now. It's really beautiful. And then the bronzer is great. I love the formula of these. Okay, and then, oh wait, I have one more favorite. Oh my god. So another eye favorite is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. I would have died if I didn't mention this because I love this primer. This is such a gorgeous primer because it really brings out the color in your eyeshadows. Because it has a white base to it, I really have been loving it. I mean, who knew that like having a like tinted kind of color to your eye primer really helps bring out the pigment in your eyeshadows. And I've been using this with like a ton of like my older palettes, and it really does help bring out the pigment, as you guys can see. Enough of this will cover both of your eyes. Like it's very pigmented. So honestly, I just take a dot of it, dab it on with my finger, and that's enough to cover both of my eyes like entirely. Because it's very pigmented. So I've been using it a ton for work, and I really love it. It really helps bring out the pigment in my eyeshadows. So I would have been kicking myself if I didn't remember to mention that. And then I just wanted to give a quick little bronzer shout out to my Thrive Cosmetics Sun Chaser Blur and Sculpt Bronzing Powder in the shade Rhea. I mean, I've been using this one a ton, as well as the Haus Labs one, but I just have been using this a ton for work again, and I absolutely love this bronzer. Like, out of this one and the Haus Labs and the Physicians Formula and the Milani are like the four that I constantly reach for all the time, and I don't really use my other ones as often, especially this year. For some reason, like, it was so hard for me to use other bronzers, even though the only new bronzer I got this year was the Haus Labs one. So because I've really been trying to use up the Physicians Formula one. So yeah, I love this. It's such a beautiful bronzer for natural looks or for more full coverage looks. And then I have two skincare / like makeup removing favorites. So the first one is the One Size Go Off Makeup Dissolving Mist. This is really great, you guys. I mean, if you don't like using face wipes because you feel like they're very wasteful and bad for the environment. I got this because I really wanted to start, you know, kind of like not using makeup wipes all the time. I mean, I still use makeup wipes for swatches. I haven't found anything that works as good as makeup wipes when you swatch something. So just let me know if you guys have found any alternatives, but I honestly really haven't found any. And like, for me, I don't want to always waste like my cleansing oil or my micellar water on swatches because it's kind of wasteful for me. But I still want to get better about using makeup wipes all the time. So this is amazing. It really like makes it easier for me to remove my makeup when I get home from work, because usually when I get home from work or when I get home from my boyfriend's house, I like taking my makeup off before me and my family like sit down to watch something, because me and my family watch a lot of shows together. We watch movies together. So when I come home, like I'm always rushing to take my makeup off because like I don't want to make them wait any longer, because I was already making them wait, you know, not being home. So this is really, really useful for me. So you just take it and you spray it all over your face. So I kind of do like a generous amount. I kind of just go in a circle and then I go like up and down. And it works to take off everything. I still use micellar water to take off my eye makeup. Just that's because that's my preferred way to do it. But also like this is really good at taking it off, but I do prefer using the micellar water just because it's a little bit less messy. And then for my liquid lip or any lip that I'm wearing, I usually just still use a makeup wipe because that is the best way for me to get off my lipsticks, especially a liquid lipstick. There's nothing else that takes off a liquid lipstick like a makeup wipe. But I really have been enjoying this for when I don't have to like, because I don't really love taking off my makeup with a makeup wipe anymore. It really dries out my skin. It breaks me out. So that's why I've been using this. And I just spray this, rub it around, and then I take like a clean towel and rub it off. And then I apply a toner after that. And it really has, I mean, it doesn't make my skin perfect, but at the same time, I much prefer using this over a makeup wipe. So I really have been enjoying it. I highly recommend it. It has a nice oily kind of feel to it. So if you love like cleansing oils and stuff, I think you're really going to love that. So I think I'm definitely going to repurchase this when I run out of it. I'm glad I got the full size because I'm definitely going to repurchase this. And then the last item is a skincare item, and this is the Sephora Gentle pH Balancing Toner. This is so good, you guys, and this is only $12, and I think with the 20% off, I think it was only like $9, which I think is such a great deal. This is really good, and you get a really nice substantial amount of product in this. This is 6.76 fluid ounces, so I think that's great. And I love this. I really haven't been using a toner for like a couple of years now, but every time I go to Sephora or go somewhere where I'm like, you know, what do I apply after I take my makeup off if I don't want to, you know, wash my face, and I don't, because usually for me, I wash my face once during, you know, when I wake up to wake myself up, and obviously to wash my face in the morning. And then I don't wash my face again until like, you know, when I'm ready to go to bed at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. So I don't always double cleanse when I take off my makeup when I use the one size, or I'll just use my cleansing oil and then I'll put this on and then I'll put like a moisturizer on, because like I won't always like double cleanse. So I just use this afterwards, but I use this on a daily basis after I wash my face anyway, and it's really good. I really like this and I highly recommend it. It's very gentle on the skin, doesn't irritate my skin at all. I just really like it. I can feel that my skin feels so good after I use it. So this is great. I highly recommend it, you guys. And that's really it. I don't really have any lip favorites this month. I haven't really been wearing too many lipsticks too consistently enough in order to like say, oh, like this lipstick's my favorite, this lipstick's my favorite. So honestly, like, and I haven't really gotten any new lipsticks to my collection, so I don't really have any lip favorites this month because they're all older lipsticks that I've used in the past. So like I didn't want to bore you guys with older favorites. So yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what your favorites were this month. Again, were you even wearing makeup? Did you purchase any new makeup? Let me know. You know I'm nosy. But I always love hearing what your favorites were, and let me know if you guys want to see any reviews on any of these products or any further thoughts. I would love to share them with you. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at CBW819 so we can talk and chat and get to know each other. And I love you guys. Bye.